down, Buddha, how you do that?
I'ma hustle to the enemy, that's that game. If you ain't with us, you an enemy, that's that game. Invest in me and build that equity.
Yo, what up? It's your boy D, my co-host Rico, and our special guest Anthony Gonzales. We're here to talk that bullshit. You feel me? Rico, you want to let them know what's up?
So we have our special guest Anthony Gonzales here. Been handling dogs for 12 years. He's been a judge on multiple registries. You know, the credentials speak for themselves. And he's going to actually let you guys know, a bunch of tips on why you are or why you're not bringing home hardware at the dog shows. And also, he's going to speak about his story, what got him to where he was, because he kind of chose to take more of the handler and judge route than actually breeding dogs. He has a really amazing story. We're going to get to the bottom of it all right now, my guys. Let's go.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on,
Yes,
bro.
sir. Thank you. Appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir.
Thanks
Yes,
for having
sir.
me.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Start us off. What got you into dogs, brother?
Okay, so first off, my grandpa was a janitor at the Denver Coliseum. Every year, the big AKC show would come to the National Western next door. He would take me to the show every year as a kid. So I'd always watch the dog shows and the handlers. And then I got some dogs, had a couple backyard breedings and all that. And then fast forward, I jumped into a bottle of vodka. And I started drinking and lost everything, ended up on the street. Fast forward a little bit more. One day in the summer, I wake up behind a liquor store and in the north side. And I wake up and I go to stand up. It's sunny, so sunny outside. The birds are chirping. Everything's moving. And I stand up behind the liquor store and I have a big full shit in my pants and pissed all over myself. And that day God told me, hey, this is your last day, you're done. So I got myself up, I lifted my head up and I walked down the block to my grandma's house, and that was the last day. Then a couple days later I walked into rehab. I was in the Salvation Army rehab for like 7 months. I got out of there, and by then I had my life back, I had my mind, and I was looking on Facebook and I seen a dog show flyer. And it was Chester Yuzowski. Chester.
Around what time was this?
2012.
Okay, 2012.
2012. And I seen that and I called them and I was like, wow, this is really happening. This is going on. I looked more and then I started looking for a dog. So I get on Craigslist and I call some people and they say they have some dogs, some extreme pockets. So I go down there and they want $500 for the dog. At that point, I didn't have $500, so I asked them if they would take payments. They did, and that's when I got Olaf. So if anybody doesn't know Olaf, he turned out to be like a XL type dog, and he was supposed to be a pocket.
What bloodlines were behind that boy?
Gotti and Gray Line.
Okay, yeah.
Old school Gotti,
That
Gray
OG,
Line.
yep.
Yeah, old school pit bull looking dog more.
Hell yeah.
So I seen that flyer and I made it to the dog show, and I watched all kinds of YouTube videos. There was a YouTube video by the guy named Israel Vargas, and he had made a video with Ron Ramos. It was called Stacking 101 with Ron Ramos.
Ron Ramos.
Yeah,
he's a judge, right?
Yeah, one of the most famous bully dog judges.
Yeah.
So I studied that shit and I just kept watching it over and over and over again and practicing with my dog.
Kind of like obsessed over it.
Yeah, obsessed. So that first dog show came and we went in there, we placed second. And then from there I told myself, oh, this shit's for me.
That was your new addiction.
Yeah,
huh?
this is for me.
Yeah.
So I started training, kept practicing, and every dog show we went to, we kept winning.
How did that help you with what you were going through at the time, bro? Do you feel like that was part of what saved you?
Yeah, because instead of, I jumped into the dogs, and I just put everything into them.
Kind of refocus yourself.
Yeah, and by then I was sober already, so there was no looking back.
That's what's up, bro.
That's what
Congrats.
these dogs are here for, to
Yeah.
save us. And
That's big, bro.
Inspiring
Yes, sir,
stories.
Yes, sir.
Thank
That
you.
That's
testimony.
absolutely
Yeah.
humongous and great, brother. And,
Yes, sir.
and it's a very inspiring story. Explain to me too, because we were talking a little bit earlier. So what kind of made you veer off of actually just breeding dogs and deciding to more be a handler and a judge and go on that route of the game?
Okay, so when that shit happened, when I went to my first show, and then after that, I was gonna breed my dog, and I was gonna be the biggest breeder in fucking Colorado. and that's what I was gonna do. But I started doing it and started seeing all the problems and all the obstacles that came with breeding dogs. So first off, I got too many males. How are you gonna breed dogs when you only have males? Unless you have a very famous dog or you're a good promoter, you're not gonna get nowhere with just males.
That's your first thought when you get in the game, though. Huh?
Yeah.
I need the hardest male.
Yeah.
You don't think about
Yeah.
longevity
Hey,
in the game.
and look, this is free game right here too.
So
You're not gonna be able to buy a male. Sorry to
Oh,
interrupt
yeah,
you, brother,
yeah.
but you know most males that are top stud quality that are gonna be champions, anything like that, you're not gonna be able to buy them. You gotta buy females, right? I mean, what do you recommend?
I start off with the female,
Start
and then
females,
you could
you gotta-
pay to breed to a
You
badass
create your
male.
own males. You know, once in a while you are gonna be able to buy a dope male, but you know, if your bag ain't right, if you're starting from maybe your best thing initially is to buy.
Yeah, because
buy
if you're like me, I didn't have the money like everybody else puts herself out there. They have all this money and all this and that. I spread myself so thin, I pretty much put myself out of business. I had an English Bulldog, I had an exotic, I had an XL, I had a pocket, and I'm over here trying to dominate all four of these worlds.
I know how that goes.
And so the English Bulldog breeding came, and I bred XLs before. XLs, you breed them, and they take care of the puppies. They do everything on their own. I bred this English Bulldog. Pretty much, me and my wife had to take weeks off work to take care of this litter. We couldn't afford all the tests, and that's just being real. We work week to week, you know what I mean, to pay our bills and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Breeding ain't cheap.
that shit made me think is like, wait, this ain't for me. This dog breeding shit's not for me. I can't. It's fucking up my money. It's fucking up my family. It's not for me. But I love the dog game. Yeah. I love dogs. I love how could I still be in this, get in where I fit in, but not have to be a dog breeder because I can't afford them. I don't have the heart because every motherfucker that want to buy my dogs, if they look fucking weird, if they look like they don't brush their motherfucking hair right, I'm not selling them my dog.
Yeah.
Right.
So I wasn't a salesman. I wasn't none of that. So then I think, how am I going to be in this dog game? I love dogs, but I can't be a breeder. So I was like, I'm pretty good at handling dogs. So I started asking people. I started putting it out there, hey, can I show your dog? Can I show your dog? And then I started winning. Motherfuckers are just coming up to me and asking me. So I just ran with that, and I kept practicing, watching every video I could see on all these dogs, because you stack a Frenchie different from you stack an American Bully. You stack an English Bulldog different from you stack a Frenchie.
Yep.
So I went and did all my research on the dog breeds that I had, and watched all the AKC shows, all the winners, and I just kept going and going and going. And every dog show, we just kept winning and winning and winning and winning.
Me personally, I've been blessed to watch. I mean, you start from, you were in the game before I was. I came in, I was like 14, but I remember you far back, bro. And I've been blessed to watch you transition. Start off, I always was used to seeing you with the bullies and all that, and doing the, showing your dogs this and that, all the ways up to this last show. When I heard, I was like, damn, homie's a judge. When you got that title as a judge, bro, I was like, damn, it's dope to see that progress. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy dope. And that's a crazy dope story too. So, as most of us, me and D-Boy too, we came from, not the best backgrounds, and I think, we get into dogs, right, to basically, they save our life, right? At the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
The best way of it being explained. So, man, that's a really dope story, brother.
What's a short-term goal and a long-term goal of yours?
So short-term goal is to go to New Mexico and kill it, pick the best dogs that are in the building, and just learn more. My long-term goal is to just learn more and go all over the world.
You on the road to success, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's that Lucky Charm show, huh?
Yes, sir.
The homie,
yeah.
the homie Lucky.
Yes, sir.
Yep, it's good dude.
Albuquerque.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask you one thing too, so just so everybody could hear too, because you kind of chose not to breed dogs, right? And to
Yes.
go a different route. Now there's many lanes in the bully game, right?
Yes, sir.
Of things you could do if you love dogs that you don't actually have to breed them, because breeding ain't for everybody.
No, not at all.
It's not. A lot of people jump into this exotic game, right? And they think, hey, I could buy a $20,000 female, go breed it to a $10,000 stud with a big name, and I'm gonna make millions. Does it work that way?
No, it doesn't. And especially if you don't do your research, you have to be a dog person first before you could be a dog person. if that makes sense. Because if you're not a dog person and you don't even love dogs, you can't be a dog person. So you're not going to reap the benefits from something that you don't even put your passion into.
You have to love doing it.
But if you have to be in the dog game and you want to be in it, there's a lot of different things. We never see no groomers at these dog shows. There's a lot of different avenues that you could become.
Taking pictures.
Yeah, taking
That's
pictures.
smart, bro.
A lot of different nails.
Marketing.
Imagine if somebody had a nail clipping booth at the dog show. How many people walk in there with fucked up nails?
Yeah, especially a lot of the new breeders, bro.
Yes,
They don't. It's their first show, first everything, and they kind of just trying to soak up game.
There's just so much stuff associated with the dogs that you could be. If you can't, like me, if
You better put your stamp on it. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Anthony said it first, so if any of y'all do it,
Yeah.
Anthony said it first, all right? You
Yeah.
better cut him that check
Free
or something.
game, as we told you. Free game all. We on that talking that
Games to
bullshit.
be sold, not told, bro. So, hey, my boy's going to need his cut. You feel me?
Y'all better listen. Y'all better listen up. Listen up to a real dog man here.
Yeah,
Back to business, my bad, bro.
like me too. Like I'm guilty of it too. I thought I was gonna come in here and just take over the breeding world and do all this, but for one thing, my pockets didn't match, my heart didn't match. I couldn't sustain myself. I was losing more money than I was getting, so I had to find out what I could bring to the dog game that was not breeding.
One thing I'd like to add to that, bro, like you said, your heart wasn't there. I feel like that has a big thing to do with this whole dog game, bro. If you do things wholeheartedly, 9 times out of 10, they work out in your favor, bro. I see a lot of breeders that they're either in competition, they do things out of spite, or they're worried about just a lot of negativity, whether it's, competing with the next man, whatever. Their breedings don't hit, they're spinning their wheels, their program never grows. But then you got somebody like yourself, bro, that's humble, and you just see the growth. You see people busting plays, bro. So,
Funny, D. Crazy thing, because you said, remember when I bred the Scrappy, you were like, you got the best productions because you really believed in them.
yeah, most
Right.
definitely, bro.
And that I think that's a big part of the actual breeding aspect of everything is you have to really just believe in what the hell you're doing. And if you're trying to do it for money or you're trying to do it for hype or anything like that, good luck. You just gotta love doing it. You gotta love creating dogs. Now, if you love dog shows, that's something we're gonna get to later that we're already talking about. Maybe, your vision versus a dog that actually could win in dog shows could be completely different. But at the end of the day, you gotta just love it, right? And
Hell yeah.
and you can't do it like with any expectation of the bag or anything like that. And if you truly love it, good things happen. As
The money will come, bro.
in theory.
Yeah, for sure. Money, success, all that, it's all gonna come, bro. I feel like everybody has their time to shine, and just be patient. Really, I do want to show you love and shout you out, bro. You are the first person to believe in my boy Scrappy, bro. You believed in him almost more than I did, bro. I remember you were trying to talk me out of it, and you're like, "This is the boy right here," and I was like,
You were
"Shit."
gonna sell him,
Bro, I had a big offer on the plate, and I was like, "Hey, homie, I know you got this stud credit. Once we run the stud credit through, I'm flipping it, bro. I got a big offer, and you talked me out of it, bro. I sat there and thought about it.
He's an amazing dog.
And I just fell in love with the dog all around, bro. So after that, it wasn't even about the money, and then
And look now, look at the wave he got going on for him. You know what I mean? Like, you go to any dog show now. How many Scrappy productions are out there? He already got grandkids already now. Scrappy's doing his thing, and a big part of that is the fact of what you've done with him. At times you wanted to give up and you wanted to not to fuck it, and that's a crazy story too that you told me about why that happened. But as you just said, bro, so you had the thought in the back of your head, you got a bag offered for you for Scrappy, right?
yeah, most definitely.
A big bag. And, tell them, why you wanted to take that bag initially. Because
All right, so
tell them about all the L's, bro.
I'm gonna break it down. So I've been doing this breeding thing, I want to say since 08. I had my first litter in 2000, and I want to say 2007, 2008, and I was like 13, 14 years old, and I always rebelled. So whether my parents liked it or not, I was gonna do my thing. I finally get my pet in line how I wanted to. it was my blood from way back when I transitioned from the American bully look to the exotic bully look. I had everything exactly where I wanted it to be, and I had some of the dopest stuff. And I felt like the my next step was I was gonna have my prized possession, my stud, and the stud that I've been um, building towards all these years. I'm there, and I'm doing my thing, and I'm pretty excited about it. You know, I started. I wouldn't say boasting, but I started putting them out there, and I had this dope ass litter that was was a hit. And all of a sudden, my crib got robbed, my dogs got taken, the mothers of them pups got beat. A few of my other my heavy hitters they got taken. So it was like everything that I worked for um, from the beginning till now was just gone. So at that point, I sold one of my last dogs that was left. His name was True. He was one of my favorite dogs. I had actually went to the Bay Area and brought that boy back. Long story short, I was in love with that boy, but I got rid of him. I was like, I'm done. I'm cool. I took way too many hours in the game prior to this, and I thought that was my time. And so, I sat on that thought for like a month or so after getting robbed, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Whoever robbed me, they're watching. They're gonna see me. You know what I mean? They want to see me fall off. They want to see me. You know what I mean? They want to see me down. So at the end of the day, I was like, nah, fuck all that. You know what? I'm gonna come back twice as hard, 10 times as hard. Basically, I went and reinvested in my program. I went and got me a group of females, and I was searching for that stud. I was like, you know what? I ain't got time to breed my stud. I just had a feeling like it was my time. Now was my time. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna search for my next stud, and it got to be crazy. I was willing to drop any amount that I could come up with just to buy my next stud, even if that meant leaving me paycheck to paycheck, dollar to dollar. You feel me? So I stayed searching. A good friend of ours, I mean, all of ours, is a dude named Micro Ball. He's from G-Town Bullies. I had wanted to buy a dog.
Come on, like he's big muscle dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey,
Yeah.
doing good for himself. So I liked his boy Snacks, and I wanted to buy something off of him. So I hit him up, and I was like, "What's up? What do you got?" And there was this boy at the time that he had. His name was Big Mac. I was trying to buy him. I offered him some bread, and he's like, "Nah, he ain't going nowhere." So I'm like, "Well, keep an eye out if you see anything." He's like, "Well, actually, there's this boy. Sent me a picture of him." Well, at this time, he was only like 6 weeks or whatever. He was real tiny. He just looked like a puppy. So to me, there wasn't really no wow factor, but it also wasn't a good picture. So yeah, I just kept looking, and about 3 months later, I go to this dog show, and it's the show in Arvada. It was what, last year? It was last year.
Yeah, it was
And so,
Kevin and Tunez's show, right?
Yep, exactly. So I go to that show, bro, and I'm keeping an eye out, right? Well, that same day I end up I bought a female, but right after I bought that female, I saw Scrappy coming in with the guy that produced him. I ran to Jeff, and I'm like, "This is off of Snacks, right?" He's like, "Yep." How'd you know? And I said, "The homie sent me a picture when he was a puppy." I said, "I want that boy." He was like, "Nah, I'm not getting rid of him." And I said, "I want that boy." And he's like, "I got to think about it, but I got these other ones for sale." Scrappy's brother and Scrappy's two of his sisters, I think. And I was like, "Nah, I got to have that boy." He's like, "Let me think about it." He's like, I need to get a big bag, so I'm going to see what I could get here at the show. I'm going to sit on him, and maybe I'll get with you later. So I was determined, bro. Long story short, I didn't get the dog that day. Or I didn't get Scrappy that day. I bought this other female, this Giagi female that day. So I'm kind of like you, bro. I got obsessed with the thought of having that dog. I was like, I'm getting him, determined. So I bugged him for just like a month straight after that dog show. Every other day, bro, I'm calling him, "What's up? What's up?" I'd shoot him this dollar amount, nothing. He wasn't breaking. Well, one day I just kept bugging him, bro, like constantly throughout that day. I get that boy, bro, and almost immediately he took off. People fell in love with the dog. His color, you know how a lot of people are blind, bro. They're worried about color over structure. And me, structure's a must, color's a plus. So that's where it was. He had structure, he had color, he had everything that I wanted in a dog. Don't get me wrong, he's not perfect by any means, but at the end of the day, that was my vision. So took him to it was Linnemutter's Halloween dog show that they were throwing. Took him there, bro, and he was winning back to back, and he did really good. And he was only like 4 months there. Didn't even have his fade, nothing. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. He started shining. Rico believed in him. 8 months old, had his first breeding. Rico produced a little bad female. His whole litter was fire, but it produced one of his dopest females that he has, and one of the dopest I've seen in Colorado as far as exotics go.
Let me say this, because I bought a dog from China for $20,000, and the dog I produced off of Scrappy, and look, no, the female I did it with, she's mediocre. She just is, and OMG is certainly the best dog I have on my yard. I mean, no ifs, ands, and buts.
Most definitely, bro. And like I said, that first breeding though, people were able to see like this is what he's producing, this is what he's throwing, and he threw the color, he threw the look, he threw small dogs in himself. The structure was there, so he took off after that. You know, I didn't really have to. I mean, I did stay promoting him like crazy. Went and got him a billboard. He's getting ready to be in a magazine in October of this year. It's the homie Kevin. I ran into him at one of the Pueblo shows. You remember that this past year? It was in Pueblo.
Yeah.
I think it was USBR, huh? It was something like that. It might have been.
I think it was BRC.
It was BRC actually. It was BRC.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, forgive me for that, but my bad. It was BRC, and the homie Kevin was like, he's like, I got this magazine, this bully magazine, and I want to throw you a page. So he's there's been a lot of promotion behind him, but his production spoke for himself, and so yeah, that's pretty much where it's at with him. But I was getting ready to quit, and if I would have gave up that day, I would have gave up everything that Scrappy's built. It was just, to me, it was just a sign. It was God telling me like, hey, keep going. You know, you gotta go. You gotta. What do they say? You gotta go through the rain to get the
sunshine.
to see the sunshine. So
Boom.
that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? And you know, there's a lot more to the story. I'll touch base on maybe one of the next episodes or whatever. But that's where it's been at. You know, that's where we're at now.
And that's what that dog game will do to you.
And we're just scratching the surface.
You'll be ready to give up every day of the week. Trust me.
To get back on the dog the dog show topic, you wanna kind of go over a few things?
Okay, so I'll start off with dog show in general. So the first thing you do the night before, you want to wash your dog's ass and let that dog rest. The next day when you get there, you get to the dog show, you leave your dogs in the car, you go pay your entrance fee, you took your kennels, you go set them up in your booth, you get your dog out of your car.
Boom, boom, boom. Sorry to interrupt you. Get a booth.
Yeah.
I made this mistake so many times. I've taken my dogs there and walked them around the whole dog show and had nowhere to keep them. If you want your dog to compete, are they going to have a chance by doing that?
So you put your kennels, you go set them up, you leave your dog in the car, you take your dogs out of the car. Once you get your dogs out of the car, you walk them around, you let them go to the bathroom. As soon as you take them to the bathroom, you take them, you shove them in that dog kennel. You fill out your paperwork. Well, this is what I do. This is my opinion. Yeah. So you put them in the dog kennel. You fill out your paperwork, your registration. After you're done with that, you go back, you get your dogs. You take them in the dog ring and practice a couple times. As soon as you're comfortable, you got your shit together, you put that motherfucker right back in the dog kennel. And then you relax till they call your number. Because one of the biggest mistakes I see everybody making, and I just can't go tell people to do shit, but they get there at the dog show, doors open at 10:30. Show don't start till, it says it starts at 12, don't start till 1:30. So these motherfuckers are walking around the dog show with their dogs the whole time from 10:30 to 1. There's dogs jumping at them. There's all kinds of chaos going. It matters. Some of these people doing this are doing it with exotics. Yeah. So in 2 hours of walking, they're exhausted. They're done. So then at that point, then they're going to go put it back in the dog kennel, and then their number's going to get called. And they're going to grab their dog, they're going to run to the ring, and they're going to expect their dog to perform. This motherfucker's not going to perform. He just walked around the dog kennel getting punked or screamed at by these other dogs.
He's already nervous.
For hours. Already nervous.
Tired.
Mad. Some people don't ever take their dog out the fucking kennel to begin with. Yeah. So they lost before they even started. But if you go in there and you put your dog away and you practice a couple times and let it relax, and then you sit the fuck down, and when they call your number, you jump up and you're walking to the ring with a fresh dog. Yes. A fresh dog. And then look at how many other people already did that with their dog, but you're walking in there with a fresh dog. You're out there to perform. Because for one thing, if you're going to a dog show and you want your dog to become a champion or elevate your dog, for one thing, I'm going there to win the motherfucking dog show. Yeah. I'm not going there for nothing else. I'm not going there to hang out with nobody.
Boom, free game.
Yeah, I'm not going to hang out with anybody. I'm not going to show off my new Jordans or my new clothes. I'm not going there to show shit
Free
off.
game.
I'm going there to show them all the hard work that I've been putting in already at home.
I'm guilty, bro. I'm like, you know what? I'm on display. It's, I mean, shit. We know we make music and shit. So I'm like, I want.
No,
absolutely.
absolutely.
I want to match my dog. My dog gonna look fly and fresh. I gotta do it. But I feel you on that, bro. I mean, I kind of look at it like that. Like I need to put more into worrying about exactly what you said, bro, and less about the fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I think what he's really saying is you know, you could go to a dog show to have fun, you know what I mean, and we could show our dogs like on our tables and stuff like that, or you know, if you want to go there and win hardware and you know become a champion, stuff like that, you got to go there with a different mindset, and that's going to be blocking everybody out and focusing purely on the goal of you doing what Anthony says he does when he goes to dogs.
Because when I go, my whole...
Because me, I'm guilty of it too. I don't always go there, like, and you know, I'm not always super concerned about my dogs becoming champions or anything like that. But you know, the whole topic of this show is, you know, people get angry at the judges, right? When their dogs aren't getting what they feel they deserve, which, you know, it's your choice. You could go in there and you could go in there and have fun. You know, we could show our dogs and do all that type of stuff. Or, you know, I mean, if you're going in there purely trying to champ your dog out and get hardware and stuff like that, it's a job. And you got to go in there and you got to tune everything out and focus on the goal that you are there for. Right?
Yeah, but prior to the show, you need to train. You need to practice. Yeah,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, fighters just don't show up at the fight to win.
So in here, you know, sometimes, you know, you could tell people have done that, right?
Yes, you could.
The people that went in there and look, free game as well, my guys.
Hell yeah.
The judges know if you were really out there working your dog or if you weren't.
Yeah, because the
you
dog's
guys
not going
could
to be
tell.
lost. It's not going to be lost.
You could tell. Well, and you could tell just by the dog's owner. If the dog's owner ain't giving a shit and running around doing nothing, you ain't carrying yourself professionally, then clearly you didn't really put a lot of hours into working your dog to where, you know, because if you did, you'd be in there, one goal in mind, I don't give a shit about nothing else, and the judges could tell that.
Winning, yeah.
So,
right.
How do you feel about new breeders when it's their first dog show and they just enter their dog into the show? Do you think that's a mistake, or do you think that's good as far as it's giving them the experience, or do you feel like they should hold back until they work their dog and kind of just look from the outside looking in, soak up enough game, and then come? Do you feel like that hurts the dog at all, or?
No, not at all. I think that's fucking amazing because look how many dog shows you go to, and you see people there at every dog show, and you ask them, hey, you're showing your dog today? No, I'm just here to check it out, and maybe next time. No, not maybe next time, motherfucker. Let's do it today.
Get your feet wet.
Yeah, jump in that motherfucker. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen at all with your dog. So, and then you jump in there and you see what you did wrong. You have to get started somewhere. One day is gonna be your first dog show, so it might as well be that day. So you jump in there and if try it, see what you do wrong. Ask the judge, ask people who's watching you what you did wrong or what you did right.
Free game.
Yeah, you don't. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt
Yes.
you. No, but we were talking about this earlier. Hey, if you don't win, ask the judge why you did not win. Anthony, for certain, and most judges, they will tell you, hey, look, bro, this is the problem with your dog, or the problem with how you were handling them, or the problem of why, you know, you didn't win. So ask the judges.
So with the exotics, what do you look for in the ring, bro? With the exotics and the fun. Let's start with the fun shows. What do you look for in the fun show?
There's two different things. I might hurt somebody's feelings, but I don't give a shit. So you got yourself in exotics. You have you a table dog, and you have you a grand champion dog, right? So this table dog could win $20,000 stack offs on tables all day long, or get big old stud fees and this and that. Yeah. But this motherfucker can't walk around the ring. An exotic, that's a good table dog. Some people think that because their dog won on the table, that they're going to take this dog into the show ring and win. That's not the case.
And that's where motherfuckers get all butthurt and start blaming the judge and all this extra. Okay.
Because if your dog cannot, any of the breeds, I don't care if it's an English bulldog, a French bulldog, any breed that's in the dog show. If that dog cannot make it around the ring, you're not going to be a grand champion. Why would our job is to find the best dogs in this dog game, so people could breed the best dogs together. So if we let a dog that in the ring that can't even walk around the ring win, what is that saying? That's not a grand champion dog. That's not even a. You can't.
Free game. Yeah. Like once again, what's the point of a dog show, Anthony? Tell him.
To find the best dogs, the best females in the breeding pool, and the best males, so they could breed them together. That's what a dog show is for. The dog show is to find the best breeding females and the best breeding males, so they could come together. That's what the dog show's for.
Oh, you mean it ain't breeders bringing to the breeder?
No.
Oh, okay. That's how the game is, bro. You know, motherfuckers breed to the breeder, not the dog. A lot of times, this day and age. You feel me? So
if you're gonna waste your money and you're gonna have a breeding program that you spend all your time into, you want to make sure that you're breeding to the best shit. And that's the reason for a dog show. It's not for popularity or none of that shit.
So dope question. There's the opinion of the freaky dogs that are really fucked up and they're not, they're not actually, it's probably kind of inhumane to keep breeding them. And there's, there's the exotics that are, that they're exotics. They fit all the standards, but, not so freaky and not. So my question to you would be, what is the standard for an exotic?
So micro exotic and standard exotic, they're the same look. You're looking for exaggerated features, and everybody has their own flavor, I guess. But you're looking for exaggerated features, a more bulky dog, just different looking dog. I don't.
Little gargoyle.
Don't worry, bro. I mean, I know it's hard to explain.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know it's hard to explain,
but definitely they don't. As far as the exotic breeders come, they don't have to be the dog that drags his back legs on the floor or can't walk. These exotics now are running, jumping, swimming, all this shit.
So see, it's possible to actually have a exotic that's not super. I mean, they could be freaky. But as an exotic is supposed to be, because basically, I mean, I guess what I'm getting from what you're saying is an exotic is more of exaggerated features, right? The bigger head, the bigger neck, the bigger bone, the bows, all on a small, tiny frame, right?
Yes, sir.
The ultimate goal is for us to have functional American bully.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the exaggerated looks, like you said, and there's, vets in the game, and there's new breeders that are. I don't feel like. I feel like a lot of their vision is, I wouldn't say their vision, but I feel like a lot of them are going the wrong direction. They're too worried about having the most smashed muzzle. They're inbreeding way too much.
What's too much of a smashed muzzle do to a dog, Anthony? If it's way too smashed, what's it do to them?
They're not going to breathe. They're not going to breathe.
They're not going to be able to walk around the ring because they can't breathe. Yep.
So, hey, a smashed muzzle's cool. Now, too smashed up, you're creating a dog that's going to suffer his whole life, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like I said, this breed has come so far till now. There's dogs that are running and moving and going around the ring. And so, like I said, somebody could have a table dog and their dog does amazing on the table, and they're back there singing and dancing behind that motherfucker, and they're winning the $10,000-$20,000 stack-offs. But and then it's time for the sanction show, so they're in their head, I'm gonna go take this shit too. But then they go to the confirmation show, and their dog cannot make it around the ring. I'm sorry, there's too many exotics that can make it around the ring. So I don't care what your dog looks like. If you go in the ring and that motherfucker can't make it around the ring, you're not grand champion material.
So great question to bring in. What's popular versus actually a dog that could be a grand champion? Okay, so popular, smashed as could be. That creates breathing problems, right? So I like bows personally. I know it's probably not the best for the dog. I love bows though, myself. Now, if the bows go too far to where the dog can't even walk,
Me myself, I like knots. I like where they have the little knots, but they're still nice and straight. Straight feet, just little knots. But I mean, really, bro, I could appreciate every kind of exotic. I mean, unless motherfuckers just all the ways deformed, and then it's not that I don't like the dog, it's I don't like the breeder at that point. You feel me?
What and you know, like kind of what I wanted to get into is you know, you could breed to what you want to create, right? So, and here's the problem. So a lot of people get super angry, like when they go to a dog show, and they got like, you know, the definition of a really good looking dog in, you know, the exotic world. And you know, they go into the ring, and then they go up against another dog, and you know, their dog, like you said, their dog can't walk. Their dog, you know, has actual deformities and stuff like that. Which, look, I mean, exotics are exotics. There are going to be, to some extent, you know, bows in general is kind of a deformity, but okay, you know, too top heavy, right? You know, too much shoulder, too much neck, too much head, not enough rear. Now, look, you can breed all the good things into a dog, right? And so do you believe like that, like an actual, what everybody says is an exotic, you know, the people that aren't in the ring versus the people that are in the ring, do you believe that there's any way that somehow it could all get mixed together to where they could still have that super exotic look and yet still be able to, you know, be a dog that could possibly be a champion?
Yes, you just have to pick your female good and your stud, and if your female ain't walking and the stud you fucking pick is not walking, there's a good chance the motherfucking baby is not good. The puppies are not gonna walk.
Setting yourself up for disaster.
And you have to.
Well, that's what I did with OMG. So I got a female, you know, she don't look, you know, the best at all. Like, you know, me, like my eye tells me she's mediocre, but she's very mobile and everything, right? And I chose to take her to Scrappy, to my kennel partner, D-Boy's dog Scrappy, because I noticed he was very mobile and you know, just very good looking, you know, structure-wise, everything, and very exotic and all that. So I mean, so when you breed, you know,
You got to breed with a vision.
you got to breed with a vision, and you got to decide in your head what is your end goal, right? What are you trying to accomplish? So you can't go to dog shows and, you know, just be thinking, oh, I bought a $20,000 female from China, and I bred it to a $10,000 stud, and I should go to a dog show and I should clean up. I mean, it don't work that way, right? There's a lot.
Hey, speaking of China, bro, fuck that shit. We stay in American made in this motherfucker. Hey, all these
I bought from China
You got
before.
some dope shit from China. I get you. And I was getting ready to buy from China about a month ago, and then I started thinking, I was like, you know what? Fuck them motherfuckers. You feel me?
I'll tell you what, they have gotten very good at their
they're killing
Photoshop.
it. They're killing it.
You know, breeding wise shit, look, you know what China did? They bought all our best dogs from over here, and over there they have no laws or nothing. I mean, when I bought my dog soy sauce, bro, they sent me the video over. It literally was like a Walmart, bro, like full of like 1,000 dogs. I mean, so over there they have no like laws as far as how many dogs you can have or nothing like that. I mean, no offense to anybody who's Asian or nothing, but I mean, you know, if they don't like their dogs, they'll make a barbecue out of them over there. I mean,
hell yeah. Hey, regardless, shout out to China, shout out to Asia.
Shout out to China, hey, and great breeding. But
hey, we started this shit. We need to bring this shit right back to us.
Absolutely.
And supply them. It's getting to a point where they're supplying us, taking over the game, and I'm cool on all that.
I think a lot of that is just due because of their laws. That, you know, that they're able to. They could mass breed dogs and really just pick the cream of the crop and euthanize the whole rest of them. So, you know, when you could do that, you know, compared to over here, you can't go get a warehouse like Walmart and, you know, breed fucking a dog a day. You know what I mean? Like, it just don't work that way. So,
But going with that, if you think about it too, all the dogs that are coming from China and all that, them are the table dogs, them are the internet dogs. Because I really don't know about exotics like that, but no China dog comes to mind when you think about a champion dog in the ring.
Yep.
Is there any?
I agree.
I can't think of one to name. So there's two different worlds.
Because you know why? It's because they're inbreed. And yeah, you get some crazy ass dogs doing that. What you know, and this is the voice of a judge and a handler, right? Okay, so as Anthony told you guys, he decided to stop breeding, and you know now his goal, he wants to better every breed that he judges. That's what he's telling you guys. Free gamer. That's what registries want to do. They want to better the breed. They want the top crop of the breed to go to the top, and you know, now look. We can all make the argument. Yeah, exotics versus, you know, whatever the registry's like. It is what it is. You pick your poison. You know, me, personally, my goal, I would love to create a dog that's freaky as hell and exotic as hell, but also could go on the ring and hold their own. That's my long-term goal. Now, so that's basically what Anthony's basically telling you guys is he's saying, look, I ain't seen none of these China imports champ out yet. So you know, I mean, hey, keep shooting your money over there. Go ahead, shit. I bought a dog from China. Now, you know, I bought a dog from China now, and am I happy with the purchase? To some extent, yeah, but
she's a bad bitch, bro.
She is a bad bitch, absolutely. But you know, she has a lot of flaws that I would like to correct, which. This is when it comes into like you breeding. You gotta learn how to breed, and you gotta figure out like what your goal is or what you want to do, right?
Yes. And everything starts with the bad bitch.
Yes, absolutely. Now also, so we did want to veer into just getting some knowledge from you, bro. Like as far as you know, cause you know, God, being a judge, man, it's got to be super tough, cause. You have to, at the end of the day, you got to pick one dog out of hundreds of dogs. And, you know, that's not an easy thing to do. And especially, you know, the repercussions, everybody gets mad at you about it after and all that. But, you know, just from a handler, so this is something special here because my guy right here is a handler. Well, he was a handler for many years. I think he still handles a little bit for when he chooses to. He's a judge now.
So do you do both consistent as far as these dog shows?
No, as far as now that I'm started judging with BRC, I will never judge. I mean, I will never handle a dog at another BRC show. It just, I'm not going to put myself in that situation because obviously if I do, my plan is to go there and fucking kill it and win the whole shit. So, and that it happens most of the time. So I don't want to conflict of interest.
Yep, absolutely.
So I will never put myself in that position ever. As far as AKC, if somebody has an AKC dog and I have that opportunity, yes, I'll jump into that.
Hell yeah.
But as far as handling at a BRC show or a show where I judge, I am not.
Or anywhere you've ever judged, basically.
Yeah, I'm not going to conflict.
You're trying to kind of move over to AKC as far as handling.
When I can.
Which, yes. And AKC's, that's you know, that's the upper echelon of being a handler.
But my thing now is just trying to be the best judge I can be and learn more about all the breeds and just better myself with BRC right now.
So I get, my bad. Go ahead, bro. Okay. I guess the main question, I think this is what everybody wants to hear. So when, you know, what are you guys looking for as a judge when a dog jumps into the ring? Every aspect of it.
Okay, to start off, so there's a written standard for every breed that goes into the ring. Your dog has to match that standard to the best it can be. So if it
has to be the best representation of the breed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, of the breed. So it's just not the dog that looks cool or the person that's walking in. If your dog doesn't match the standard, the written standard, that's written already. It's not me making it up in my head. It's already written. It's not going to win. If there's another dog that matches the standard better, your dog is not going to win.
So that's aspect number one. Now aspect number two, tell them.
Movement and health. We need that dog to move. You need it. Everywhere there's a joint that moves, it needs to move there. We need.
Explain it to me how you were telling me earlier.
Okay, so some dogs you watch their rear, and when they walk, their elbows they don't bend. There's no bend, so you see their legs and they're just throwing them back. Every part of the body that's supposed to move, we want it to move.
Okay, and then also you said when you check bite wise.
Oh yeah, so I start at as the dog walks into the ring. So yeah, as soon as the dog walks in the ring, I'm watching that motherfucker already. So I'm looking at its movement, and then when they stop, well, I start with their feet. We want tight feet that look tight. They're going up their legs straight. Then I go to their bite. The underbite, you don't want it more than like a quarter inch.
With exotics, you'll get a lot of underbites, and that's okay.
There's more play.
Okay.
But as far as like a pocket or anything like that, we want the teeth to touch.
Yep. Completely perfect bite.
And then.
And it's possible as well with exotics
Yes,
to
there's exotics with clean bites.
perfect bites. Yes.
What do you feel like the dog shows here in Colorado are missing? You feel like there's something that they could add or take away as far as like overall?
As the dog show or the people going and showing their dogs?
Both.
Both. We just need more dog shows, for one thing, for the dog show part. And the people that are bringing their dogs to the dog show, we need you to love your dogs. We need you to work with your dogs. Love your dogs.
Yep.
The first 5 things is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is love your dog, love your dog, love your dog, love your dog.
Yep.
And if you don't believe in that motherfucker, if you don't believe in your fucking dog, how do you feel like you're gonna walk into that ring and make me believe in it?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to love your dog. You need to practice every day.
So there is, to some extent, you know, that there's a coexistence of the dog and the handler.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because if you don't believe in your dog, is your dog even gonna walk in the ring and do what you need them to do? You got to kind of create a
like we all know
chemistry, right? Like, so you as a handler, bro, you know, you create a chemistry with your dog, right?
Yeah, with any dog. That I try to walk and meet that dog and play with the dog.
I've heard of quite a few judges tell me, like, hey, I could tell, like, you know, you and your dog, like, you guys are locked in like that.
You practice.
So, hey, a judge telling you this right now, they could tell that too.
You need to get your routine down.
They could tell that too.
It's 10 to 15 minutes a day, every day practicing, and then just practice every day. Practice. If you want it bad enough, you're going to find the time to practice. Then most of all, you need to find out how to stack your dog.
I feel like you could practice every day, but
You're practicing wrong.
yeah, exactly. Practicing wrong, you're running in place, or maybe even going backwards. I get it. The more in tune you are with your dog, the better they're gonna perform in the ring, right? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, not only that, it's like you have to practice for the big day. You have to practice every day to be able to walk in there and compete with some other people that are practicing. Because you gotta believe, if you think you're just gonna leave your dog in the kennel its whole life, and then you're gonna pull it out and go to a dog show and win against somebody that's been practicing every day, it's likely that shit's not gonna happen.
Hey, them motherfuckers be getting mad at their dog like it's their dog's fault. You know what I'm saying? Hating on their dog, fucking pissed, don't want to do another
Dragging them
show.
out at the ring.
Yeah, bro. Oh my God.
Well, you just walk that motherfucker around for 3 hours at a time, where dogs are growling, barking, music's playing, and he's tired already. You want that motherfucker to go win.
Bro, please make that same comparison when we were talking earlier. You told me like about baseball. So I asked Anthony, I said, you know, maybe certain judges, they're gonna more judge based upon movement, more based upon the stack, more based upon the look of the dog. Now, if you want to win every show, what?
Okay.
Tell me how you said it. Like,
Okay, so there's like the table dog or the dogs that look good online. Say they're good batters, right? They could bat a fucking home run every time they bat, but these motherfuckers can't run to first base to save their life. So if you could hit a home run, but you can't run the bases, you're not gonna make that home run.
and then also in baseball, you got to play defense too at a certain point.
You need a dog that could stack. You need a dog that can make it around the ring, and you need a dog that's quality and fits the standards if you want to win. If you're lacking in any one of them things, it's gonna drastically drop your chances of winning, because there's monsters out here. There's people that love their dogs. There are people that take this shit serious and practice every single day.
And they cover every aspect of all that. So free game. So don't get mad when a judge don't give you no hardware, because you're hearing it from Anthony himself.
And you need to ask yourself, if
There's
you lose,
something you need to work on.
Yeah, ask the judge what happened. And the second thing is, ask yourself, how many times have I actually practiced with my fucking dog?
Yeah.
If
Or how much of a connection do I have
you
with him?
practice every day for months and months and months, and you lose, maybe it's your dog's not up to par, your dog's not up to standard, but you need to practice.
Well, so see, like the standard part, you can't
change that.
You can't change that. So maybe you just need a better dog. So if you got a good dog, and then, you know, the problem may be is that just your dog is not walking the ring correctly, it's not stacking correctly, and those are all things that can be worked upon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, bro. So I appreciate you coming down here, giving all the game. Where can the audience and people that are interested in learning how to train their dogs for these shows and just all the tips and game that you've given, where can somebody reach you at, bro? And how do they go about that?
Just Facebook, Anthony Gonzales, and just contact me. But the way I work is I help you help yourself. So you have to just be able to meet up with me, and we'll go over what we got to go over so you can have the shit that you need to win.
Okay. Yep.
Hey, thanks so much, bro, for coming on here and giving everybody all this free game. And man,
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, bro. And there's more to come. We're actually bringing Anthony back out. We're gonna do a bully stack 101 and let him give you some more game and just let you see. I know myself. I'm a visual learner, so I mean that's what he's gonna come.
and everybody, man, you make sure y'all give Anthony a follow and all that, cause amazing guy right here, man. Great story. Great knowledge he's giving everybody for free that the vast majority of people are not going to give you. So give my guy a big salute, man, for real.
Yeah. Shout out to the cameraman. Shout out
to the
Anthony.
cameraman,
That's
absolutely.
what we're doing. We're talking that bullshit. Sometimes it may be conflict. Sometimes it's game. Sometimes it is what
You
it is,
never know what you got coming.
But,
Let's go.
Until next time.
Till next time. Let's go.
I treat the dog in like the dog game. That's why I never stepped on. Hating on